Hi everyone, my name is Glenda Sparling with SureFit Designs, and in this video I'm continuing on with this short video series on looking at how your bodice fits on your shoulder line. And previously we talked about square shoulders and slope shoulders, and in this video I'd like to talk about the shoulder seam line that tends to always be riding back on your body. Now again, these situations don't occur with everybody, but if you have this concern, then I'm going to show you an easy way to modify the shoulder seam line. And I have my favorite Molly mannequin here to assist me. And right now what we're looking at here on the mannequin is the natural shoulder seam line sitting on the mannequin's shoulder seam line. Now, some of you experience where your shoulder seam lines are always riding to the back. So I'm just going to give this a tug on the mannequin, and that's kind of what happens on your body. And as your shoulder seam rides backward, you feel like you're being choked in the front. And that's because you actually need more back length in the back bodice, and you need less length in the shoulder point or the shoulder seam line in the front bodice. And so I'm going to show you how to modify that. Now another situation can occur where you actually have a forward thrusting shoulder, and I'll just remove this and we're going to talk about the mannequin itself. So here would be the natural shoulder seam line, and for somebody who has a forward thrusting shoulder, this shoulder bone actually thrusts forward. And so in order to mimic that, what I'm going to use is this shoulder pad, and if the pad is on there normally, that's going to be a straight line coming down from the base of the ear. But for a forward thrusting shoulder, that shoulder bone actually comes more forward like this. And so you can see that it's all at a forward angle, and I'm just going to tape it down like this. Now, in this situation, now what we need to do is leave the neck point be a stable point, but move just the shoulder bone forward, or the shoulder point forward. And I wanted to put the bodice back on so that you could see the diagonal wrinkles that are coming like that. Kind of looks like what would be necessary for a square shoulder adjustment. But when you change that shoulder line, you will eliminate all of those diagonal wrinkles. So let's go down to the table and take a look at how to do that modification or refinement to your personal pattern. So this is what your regular bodice would look like once it's been finished being drawn out. And whether it be the bodice front or the bodice back, yours will look basically like this, meaning that the inside line is the stitching line, and that's the line you would have drawn first of all on your SureFit Designs patterns. And then you've used the designing stylus to go in and add your seam allowances. So that's what the slots are, slotted line is on the outside. Now the reason I'm showing you this is because when you are doing any kind of refinement or minor tune-up to your pattern, you have to be aware if you're doing it with or without seam allowances. And typically you would have already drawn your pattern with these seam allowances, so just please keep that in mind. And then to do the forward shoulder slope, when the whole garment is riding back on your neck, what you need to do is bring your back shoulder seam line forward, and I'm just going to use an arbitrary amount here of about 5/8 of an inch, and I'm going to bring it forward or longer and reshape into the neckline and into the arm side. Now, I've brought that forward. That means on the front bodice, I need to take that amount off. So as we take a look at the front bodice, the exact same amount is going to be taken off like this. So we've given more length to the back body than we have to the front of the bodice. And that's as simple as it is for the variation number 1 of changing the shoulder line. Of course, this whole space on the front is going to go away, and this whole space on the back has been added. Now, situation or variation number 2, where you had the forward thrusting shoulder blade or shoulder bone, is going to look like this. The back body needs to be longer at the shoulder point only. So I'm going to raise that up, and then I'm going to true back to your existing neckline like this. That brings that back shoulder point forward. And then for the front of your pattern, the amount that you added to the back bodice needs to be taken off of the front bodice, so it gets sloped downward like this. So in the front, you've removed this amount, and in the back, you've added that amount, but you've kept your neck point exactly the same. Now, in both of these circumstances, variation 1 and variation 2, you have changed where your shoulder notch is going to be on your sleeve pattern. So this is very important to take a look at this sleeve pattern. This is what a standard sleeve would look like coming out, and again, keeping in mind that you're either working with or without seam allowances, so don't let any of that confuse you. This would have been your original shoulder notch, and now because in both circumstances we've made the back armscye longer, the back bodice armscye longer, you need to move the sleeve cap notch forward, and you move it forward the same amount that you lengthened the shoulder seam line on the back bodice, and that makes this longer, and it's going to fit with that longer back armscye that you've created. And this automatically shortens the front of the sleeve cap, which goes, of course, with the shorter front armscye. So now your sleeve is just going to fit absolutely fine. So those are the refinements or minor tune-ups that you can do with your pattern, only if you need to, and you're going to find it all at SureFitDesigns.com or the SureFitDesignsLearningCenter.com. So just remember, when you use SureFit Designs, you can be sure of the fit.